Hello, Internet. This is Whispering Whim, bringing you yet another grocery haul today. And first up, we have some tomatoes. I have found that these ones taste pretty good for store-bought tomatoes. I was spoiled as a child in that I got fresh tomatoes off of plants, and they taste so much better when you grow them yourself. But in my poor little one-bedroom apartment, there is no room for tomatoes. But anyway, so these ones are pretty tasty. The Campari tomatoes. And in fact, I felt a little guilty for grabbing these because on a in-between grocery trip, I picked up some other tomatoes, the on-the-vine tomatoes that a lot of supermarkets have. And I brought them home and I sliced one open and it was just so bland, just a tiny bit mealy. And I was like, I know I should eat all of these on-the-vine tomatoes, but I don't want to. So I have to figure out if I want to try to turn them into a tomato sauce or something. Maybe they would benefit a sauce more than putting them in a salad or whatnot. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. Next up, we have some pita bread. I'm planning on making some falafel later on in the month, and pita is a good thing to shove falafel into. In fact, the first time I made falafel, my husband thought that falafel meant just a pita sandwich. I was like, no, it's the hummus, the fried hummus that's not hummus, chickpea paste that is the falafel, right? It's chickpeas and parsley, and usually there's cilantro in it, although I don't like cilantro. And at first, I made the recipe with half as much of the normal cilantro, and then I kept going down and down and down, and I did not pick up any cilantro this time. I think we'll be fine, because he doesn't care for it too much either. I don't mind cilantro if it's watered down so much that I can't taste it individually, but I am one of those people that if I can identify it, if it's strong enough that I can be like, oh, there's cilantro in here, it has that almost Irish Spring soapy kind of a taste to it. It's just, nah. Moving along, we have a big old thing of coffee, and this is for my guy. And it's so weird. I know some of you have been watching me for a long time and some of you are a bit newer, but once upon a time, about, 3-4 years ago, we would go through one of these almost every month. Almost. And now it's maybe 3-4 months in between needing something that large, to the point where sometimes I buy a smaller one just so it doesn't go quite as stale for my guy, but he doesn't have the most refined palate, and I don't think he notices the difference between the stale coffee and the fresh coffee. So if I think to get the big bag, I do, and then sometimes I don't. That was a weird tangent, but that's how it went down. All right. Finishing off that one purple bag there is a nice big old jar of pickles. Definitely been on a pickle kick. And I have been buying those zesty spheres, which are Velasquez name brand pickles. And they're nice because they have a bit of heat to them. But I have found that we can go through a jar of that in 2 days. It's just not a lot of pickles in one of those little jars. And they do make a bigger jarred version of the zesty pickles. That's the one we like. But if you get the big jar of them, they're whole big pickles. And I don't know. It's probably a carryover from when I was wearing the braces, but it's too much pickle to put in my mouth all at once. Not to get too graphic there. So, I got the little petite pickles. These are tiny pickles, and they're not going to be spicy, but I will enjoy them because they're small. And then after that, we have some quinoa. So I made the declaration last month that I was going to try to do a New Year's resolution. And my report is that I have actually been working out more, so that's good. I've been getting in the exercise. Dietary wise, I haven't really improved things all that much, but little baby steps, and one of those is getting some quinoa back in stock in it's not quite a pantry, but we'll pretend my pantry. Because it's a grain, but it's it's actually technically a seed. But it's served in the place of a grain. So it has a bit more, protein to it and fiber and whatnot than, say, plain old white rice. And next up what do we have here? Oh yes, we have some turkey stuffing. You may recall it was probably about 2 grocery hauls ago where I bought some box stuffing, because my guy's family, whom I eat Thanksgiving dinner with, doesn't do their stuffing in the way I like it. That's the easy answer. So I bought a box of it, and then I ate it all. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do, but my guy doesn't like stuffing, so it was, something I knew I was making just for me, and I ended up eating like half the box in one sitting, which is not the most diet conscious thing you can do. It's, basically glorified bread, right? So you may be asking yourself, if she's trying to be all like healthy in things, why did she get the stuffing that, is mostly bread and she eats too much of? Well, the answer to that is that I have been taking at my local community college some voice lessons for singing. I really love to sing, but I wasn't encouraged to do that when I was younger, so I don't know a lot of really basic things like we're learning how to like count rhythm and the whole like 1 and 2 and 3, where 3 is longer. Like, this is all new stuff for me. But they are night classes because they're designed for adults. And when I get home, my guy eats a dinner separately and I eat dinner separately, which is, I think, normal for a lot of households, but very rare for us. So I've been learning to like keep Hot Pockets and things like that in the freezer for him. And like what I eat, it varies, but I have found that on multiple nights I have picked up, there's a Marie Callender's dinner that's like a turkey dinner, and it has stuffing and turkey, and it has some mashed potatoes and some vegetables, right? And I ate one this last Tuesday, and I was like, I could probably just make my own TV dinners, right? And then I could control the calories and the macros of it a little bit better. So that's why that's a long way around to get to why I bought myself some stuffing again. Is that I'm going to make myself some maybe not healthier, but less processed TV dinners. Okay. So next up, we have, oh yes, tuna fish. This is a big old 10-pack because the tuna craze has not died down yet. And I don't know if anyone cares, but I can report on the mystery cat situation, finally. So just a quick recap. Back in like November, I saw a mystery cat, no collar. It's very thin, not like starving thin, but very thin, thinner than I see most pet cats. No collar, and it was wandering around. So I fed it a little bit of tuna fish, and we had a good relationship. I saw it for a few days, And then I didn't see it for a while, and then I saw it again. And I was getting worried because it's winter time now here in the States, and especially where I live, there's snow on the ground out there. And I was like, am I going to have to trap this cat? I don't feel comfortable. I don't. I'm one of those people that if I put an animal in the cage, I sit there and I like bleeding hard. I'm like, oh, you poor thing, you don't deserve to be in a cage. And I really didn't want to try to catch that cat. And then it would disappear for long periods of time too. So I kept getting worried that it was like dying out there in the snow or something. Well, it was about maybe a week ago. I'm going to say, no, it's maybe 2 weeks ago now. I came across the cat again, and lo and behold, the cat finally has a collar on it. And I'm like, hallelujah, you have a collar. And I'm telling this to the cat. And I hear somebody chuckle. And there's like an apartment right over there. That's where the cat lives. I was like, is this your cat? And they're like, yes. What's her name? Her name's Alice. And I was like, well, I'm glad Alice has a collar today, because I was like this close to like taking her to the Humane Society to see if she was chipped. And he was like, oh, well, she doesn't like collars and she always pulls them off and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, if you're going to let your cat out, you gotta put a collar on it. And yes, the next time I saw Alice, she had a collar on her. So I should probably stop feeding her tuna fish now that I know she has a food source. But I don't know. I might still sneak her a little bit because she's my pal. And even more so now that I know her name. And then here we go. Our next item is a big old thing of Hunter's Mix. They have switched to a plastic bottle instead of the cardboard tin. And I don't really approve, but that's okay. They're like freshness you can see. So now you can kind of see all the nuts and everything. I don't think that actually improves freshness. I mean, it improves your ability to look at it. But a lot of food is light sensitive. So being kept in a cold, dark container is a good thing. But that's a rant for another time, I think. And then we have some turkey gravy. This is for my pretend TV dinners, or I guess it's just meal prepping at that point. I don't know why I keep calling them TV dinners. But it's kind of funny. I was shopping at the little more expensive grocery store. Long story, the whole one car thing just complicates grocery shopping so much. So I was shopping at the more expensive store, and when I added up all of these ingredients that I was buying to make my prepped meals, turkey dinner thing, I probably spent maybe just a tiny bit more than I would have spent if they were all just frozen dinners. But they'll be healthier. So it's okay, right? Now then, we have... Oh, is it just one item left? Yeah. One last dry item. And I got some shorty sausages. I have found that in the morning, I'll wake up and I think I'm hungry. Like, I'm getting the signals. My body's like, oh, go eat something. I'm like, sure, body. I'll make you some eggs, or I'll make some toast. Make avocado toast. I'll be good about it. And like anything more than just like a little tiny piece of protein, I just get all like, bleh. I don't know what that's all about. But that's a long way of saying that I got these for breakfast. Like, I plan on eating like one of them for breakfast. And then waiting until my digestive system like cues back up for lunch, because it's silly when you're trying to diet to force food into your tummy that your tummy doesn't want. But I don't understand the whole like I'm hungry signal, but it's not ready for food. It's beyond me. But that is all of our dry goods. Let's go ahead and move on to our refrigerator stuff. In our cooler bags, we have lots of plastic for you guys. I know there's a couple of people who get sad when I remember to bring my reusable bags because they're not quite as crunchy, right? Even though this isn't a whisper ASMR, it's still kind of designed for calm, soundscape kind of a situation, right? For those who like food. But anyways, we have lots of things in bags that I feel almost bad about, but like with something like mint, which is our next item, putting them in those mesh bags don't really protect them from the conveyor belt at the grocery store. Depending on which grocery store you go to, that conveyor belt can be one of the most unhygienic things. Because think about it, people throw all of their food on there, and that includes raw meat, and sometimes the raw meat leaks a little bit, and it's hard to tell which stores clean regularly and which ones don't, because it's a black belt that's always moving, so it's always wiping off like the big obvious dirt, right? But anyways, so plastic bags for sanitation, and mint for tzatziki sauce. That is going to be for the pita wrapped falafel. There we go. I was going to say chickpea, which is an ingredient, but anyways. And it smells wonderful. It's a nice, look at that. It's a very fresh, green, vibrant bunch of mint there, which is almost a shame because I'll need like only maybe a third of this to make the sauce. So I have to figure out a good use for the rest of that. And then we have our parsley, Italian parsley, and that is going to be the main ingredient in my falafel. Well, outside of the chickpeas anyways, because I'll be using it as itself. Because usually the falafel recipe, what is it? It's like half a cup of parsley and maybe a quarter cup of cilantro. And I plan on swapping whatever the amount is of cilantro for just more parsley. Because, yeah, I think I will enjoy that a bit more if I do. And then we've got some good old romaine lettuce hearts. I like to buy them in this form instead of pre-chopped because they do last a bit longer. I just chop them as I need them, and I can usually get about 2 weeks of life out of a pack of lettuce if I do it that way. And I'm not always the best about eating my salads, so more time is good. But I'm getting better. Like, I haven't been doing any calorie counting yet, so I haven't actually lost any weight, but I am doing the shifts on just making slightly better choices, and I think that that'll make it easier when I start calorie counting again to just roll into that. Because whereas if you're used to eating like a whole bag of potato chips and dip for lunch, it's really hard to suddenly just have a little tiny salad with a bit of protein for lunch, right? Whereas you swap out half the chips for some protein and salad and do that for a few weeks. I don't know. I'm trying to acclimate myself to this. I've lost weight before. You guys, some of you, it's been a while now, remember the first time I lost weight for the wedding, before the wedding got postponed due to COVID. So I can do it. For me, it takes a couple of steps. But yes, we have some plain Greek yogurt. That is the base for my tzatziki sauce. So tzatziki is like cucumber, mint, and lemon. I think that's pretty much all that's in it. Plus the yogurt. And it is a very refreshing, sauce. It's so wonderful. Let me see if I can do this. Yes, tzatziki. 1/2 cup grated cucumber, 1 cup Greek yogurt, 1 tablespoon lemon juice, 1 tablespoon olive oil, 1 clove of garlic, that's what I forgot. 1 clove of garlic, finely chopped, salt. Oh no! Okay, so I got the mint, but apparently there's dill in it too, which makes sense. Bummer. I don't know if I want to make it without the dill. Maybe I'll have to sneak out and buy some dill. Because of the 1 car situation, I had planned on doing all of this grocery shopping today, actually. But I had done it yesterday in the middle of the day because if I want to borrow the car, my husband and I are doing a single car right now between the two of us. So if I want it for a day, I have to wake up when he wakes up, do all of my things, and then go pick him up, which doesn't sound too extreme. And it's not really. But picking him up, because he gets off at 4:30, which is just a weird point in my day where I would rather not leave the house. Usually I'm like in the middle of a project and I'm trying to get it done before I start making dinner. It's kind of like the mindset that I've been, that's been grilled into me now that I'm self-employed, is that my work day in my head goes until 5, because that's usually when he gets home from work. But now, if I borrow the car, my work day really ends at like 4, so that I can go pick him up. And then by the time I bring him home, I got to start making dinner. So I don't like it. But I'll do it if I need to do a thing. And one of the things I usually need to do is that I teach classes for the needle felting. And let me go grab an example real quick. So here's a nice little example. This is a pink elephant. This is a class I'm actually teaching next week. So that'll be fun. So if I'm teaching a class, I know I'm going to have to borrow the car anyways. So I was going to go grocery shopping today, right before the class, or right after I dropped him off, but before the class. But the one of the studios that I teach at, they really, really like lino cut printing, which is actually what I went to school for. So I am pretty well versed in that, but it's just not my interest right now. But they really like it, even though they're less popular classes. And I had a Valentine's Day, like make your own Valentine's card class planned for today. And it just didn't get enough signups. And she ended up, telling me to cancel. She gave me the option, but it wasn't really an option. To cancel that class and just push it to the future, less snow, people were sick, blah, blah, blah. And that meant that if I wanted to borrow the car today, I would borrow it just for grocery shopping. And that didn't sit right with me. So I went grocery shopping yesterday because I had already had to borrow the car. I take care of my grandfather every Wednesday. I take him out to lunch and make sure he has groceries and things like that. So I already had the car. So I did the grocery shopping real quick without my sacred list. The sacred list. And that's why I'm missing something like dill. That's a very long explanation. Hopefully it didn't bore you too much, or maybe it was a good thing because it made someone fall asleep. I know a lot of people watch these to go to sleep, so I guess I can't be offended by being boring. Right. But yes, I went grocery shopping without my list. I'm sure I've missed lots of things, but it'll be fine. Okay. Next up, we have just sort of a meat and cracker tray. This isn't a thing I would normally pick up, but they had them on closeout. So it was only like $4 for this whole meat, and it's salami and pepperoni plus crackers. And that's cheaper than if I were to buy those components individually. So I went ahead and I just bought one. I was tempted to buy like 5 of them because they're good for quite some time. What was it? I looked at the expiry date because I thought maybe they were going to expire soon, but they're not. This one's good until April 4th. So that gives me almost 2 months to eat it. And yeah, I guess they're just not going to carry that anymore, and that's why it's in there. But it's quite the markdown, especially for the expensive grocery store. Speaking of expensive grocery store stuff, here is our infamous bacon that this grocery store never packs well. I don't understand it. They always just like pile on the bacon so that it's all like loose and has air pockets. And why can't they just, grab a chunk of the strips and put the chunk down? I don't understand it. It's been a while since I've had that complaint, though, isn't it? I used to complain about that all the time. Oh, man. That's what happens when you've done grocery hauls for many, many years. I'm trying to remember. I think I've been doing it for 8 years now. Maybe only 7. But I've been doing this for a while. Okay. We got some good old lemons. It's a great way to perk up almost any recipe, is just add a little bit of lemon. That hit of acid is always good. And we've got some green onions, or scallions if you prefer. And those are another wonderful thing to just add to dishes. They add a pop of color because the green and the white. And they're oniony without being like strong onion flavor, so they work in a lot of situations. And then we have some good old broccoli florets. Make lots of broccoli as a side. I usually prefer to roast my broccoli over steaming it. I think roasting is the way to go. We've got some half and half. It's for my guys' coffee mostly, but if I make a cream sauce, I'll usually make it with the half and half, because then I don't have to have, I said that right. I don't have to have milk or heavy cream on hand. I basically just swap this out for either of those. And this blew my mind. I was an adult when I learned it. So maybe there's an adult out there too. Half and half is literally half milk, half cream. So it is the middle ground. And most recipes, they'll do just fine with half and half. There's exceptions. There's always exceptions to that, but all right. We've got some little mini cucumbers. This is for that tzatziki sauce and also for munching on. Make sure I get plenty of veggies in my system. And then we have some pre-cooked chicken breasts. I was at Sam's Club, and I really wanted to get one of the rotisserie chickens. They're a good bargain. You get a fair amount of meat off of them. You can make stock out of the bones. It's just a good deal. But when I went, they didn't have any out. And the next one was not going to be done for like another 37 minutes. And I was like, yeah, no rotisserie chicken for me today. And I was so bummed about it that I ended up picking this pre-cooked chicken breast pack up. It was like $15, which, not too terrible for 1.5 pounds of meat. You could get it cheaper if it's raw and you cook it yourself, but protein, especially like in the morning, like with the little sausage sticks, just sits well with me. So I thought maybe I would try these to see if, I don't know, it was a replacement for rotisserie chicken, basically. And the longer it sat in my cart, the longer I was like, I really should just buy chicken breast and cook them. Why do I need to buy pre-cooked chicken breasts, especially if they're not a deal? Like the rotisserie chicken is a good deal. It's a loss leader, if you've never heard that term. Costco and Sam's Club, both, their warehouse type stores, sell their rotisserie chicken at a loss. They don't make a profit on them. And the whole point of that, though, is that a lot of people will be like, I really want that rotisserie chicken. They go into the store and then they add laundry soap to their cart, or they're like, I'm here anyways, let's go get some pot pies or whatever, right? So it is designed to just drag you into the store, which means it's very good price. I can get at Sam's Club, I think it's a 3 or 4 pound bird. Is it a 5 pound? I don't think it's as high as 5 pounds. Larger than like a normal grocery store bird. And you get it for $5. Whereas like, chicken breast I can get for roughly $3 a pound right now. So, well, anyways. I have no good segue here, but this is some carrots, and I think that's the end of my cooler bag. It is indeed. All right, so I'm going to put some of this away, and I know this trip was a bit small, but I have some boxes to unbox, and that'll help us stretch out the time just a little bit. Okay, so that is the end of the grocery haul, in a sense. We're not done yet, but not a lot of groceries, and that might just be the new normal now. I have found that just the ebb and flow of buying groceries has changed a lot for me when my guy and I went down to a single car. So we'll see if that pattern holds true. But today we have quite a bit to look at outside of the normal grocery haul. And that's because I kept meaning to make a snack tasting video. For my birthday, which was back in October, my sister got me this big old box of Japanese snacks, which is my favorite kind of snacks to try. Yes. And I thought, oh, that'll be a great ASMR video. But I just haven't been in the mood to do more than one video in a month. It probably could have just hung out until I was ready. But then for Christmas, my sister-in-law, so a different person, got me another snack thing. I think this one's Korean. Doesn't say. But it's another like foreign snack type of situation. And this one is nice enough to actually have an expiration date on the box. It's made in Turkey. I doubt they're all Turkish snacks though. We'll find out. And I was sitting there looking at that, and that's like 3 months in the future, which sounds like a lot of time, but I think I know in my heart of hearts I'm just not going to get to it. As much as I would like to do a lovely tasting video for you guys, I haven't been into the filming, as you know. I make sure I do the grocery haul, and that's it. But these are sitting around, waiting for something to be done with them. So, since this was a very small grocery haul, what I want to do is just open these up. Maybe I'll try like 1 or 2 of them. But open them up so that I can start using them for like my guys' lunches, or maybe a special treat if I'm doing well on the diet. Yeah. So, let us take a look inside. Now, right off the bat, something I like about this little box, and I've never gotten one quite like this before. Bubsaboos Wild Snacks. Is they have this convenient little super long nutrition label all the way there for us. And most of these snacks I'm looking at are not too terrible. I think our highest calorie count is 200 for a snack. So these might actually be good treats for when I start counting my calories. let's take a look inside. Come to me, snacks. I do love trying snacks. It's such a shame that I just don't have the energy for a video, and also I'm really going to super try to not get any larger than I am. Okay. So a little more information about the different types of snacks, and oh, look at that. Oh, they're very cute. Maybe they are all Turkish. We've got some sort of chocolate bar. On it has a different expiration date nicely labeled on there for the individual treat. Got a little watermelon candy. And this, goodness, it's all in a foreign language. This is one of the ones that expires in May. I don't know what that is. It looks like maybe a graham marshmallow type thing. This might be one of the ones we try. Let's see here. Take a look on my nutritional fact things. They call it a poof. P-U-F. 70 calories. 2 grams of fat. That's not too bad. Carbohydrate. 14 grams, so a little on the high side, but that's to be expected for a dessert type item. And 1 gram of protein. Let's try this. Oof, that had a noise to it, didn't it? Ah, it is marshmallow. I can feel the squish. I was expecting the cracker underneath to be crunchy. It's not. It's very soft, but for a store marshmallow, it's pretty good. Once upon a time, I actually was a baker. I baked for about 10 years of my life. And so I've had marshmallows made fresh. And that kind of ruins most marshmallows for you once you have them made fresh. But this is pretty good. I do wish the cookie was crispy, though. Yeah, I like that. Okay. We got some poppin' candy. So this is kind of like a Pop Rocks type situation. And that one is banana flavor. Okay, I'm getting sad that this is not its own video and that I have time and the calories to eat everything in here. Because this is exactly the sort of thing I do not need to eat right now. I know how Pop Rocks work. I would be curious, though, to see how the banana flavor holds up. I kind of sometimes like artificial banana flavor, and then sometimes I don't. So, that would have been fun. Okay. We have a caramel bar, caramel, and then down here is caramel with a K. And that one doesn't expire until August. So, that'd be good for a while. These are going to be gone by August. Now that I've broken the seal and have opened the box, they're going to be gone. And then we have some crackers, Greta crackers. They show a little picture of olive oil and olives. Okay, this is going to be impulse number 2. I just can't help it. I like it when these kinds of things also have savory snacks in them, because too many sweets in a row will kind of get to me. So they have nice little bits of parsley or whatnot, some sort of herb on the top. Texture is about on par for a saltine type cracker. Doesn't have a lot of flavor, but you do get to taste the olive. Like, it has olive flavor to it. I wish it was just a tiny bit more salty. Because it's a dry cracker, but you're tasting olive, which is oily. But then that's the only note. There's gotta be so little salt in this. Okay, I'm curious now. Nutrition information on the package is less than ideal, so we're gonna go back to our handy dandy calorie guide here. And let's see here, 120 calories, 2 grams of fat, very low on fat, 21 grams of carbohydrate. Oddly, it does have 3 grams of protein. Interesting. And as far as sodium goes, where's the sodium line? No way. Huh. Well, according to this, it does have 450 milligrams of sodium. I must not think it's salty because like an actual saltine cracker has like those bigger chunks of salt on the top, so you taste that sort of individually. Whereas this doesn't have any salt on the top. It must all be in the cracker. But out of everything in this list, that is the highest sodium count by a large margin. The next highest one has 100 milligrams compared to 450. Wowzers. Now, I'm not on a salt restricted diet, and I don't know, I really like eating salt, so that's not bad, but man, that is so weird that it's that salty or has that much sodium in it without tasting salty to me. Okay, I'm dying to know. Where are you? Here's my saltines. Right up here. I do actually like saltine crackers. The plainness is like satisfying sometimes. It's like a sicky food when I'm not feeling well. Wow. Okay. So this is the Fresh Stacks pack. So they have these like half-size packs. And I normally don't even eat a whole one in one sitting. But for one of the little packs, it has 430 milligrams. So this is actually lower in sodium than our olive crackers. Lower in sodium, and it tastes so much more salty. That is fascinating. Okay. Let's move along, because now the video is getting maybe a bit too long here. We're not going to get to the second box. I guess I'll open that after the next short grocery haul. But in here we have, whatever this is, doughnut. Lots of words I don't understand. So maybe my Turkish box really is full of Turkish delights. But let's see here. Doughnut. Gosh, I want to try this too now. I want to try everything. But I'm going to sneak a look. Well, I don't see that on here. Oh, there it is. So, ooh, that's interesting. I missed that. It is actually a carrot cake snack. So I was just looking at it from the top view here, where you can see the bread, and it is kind of soft. But down here, look at that carrot cinnamon. This is carrot cake. All right, I'm gonna have to try the Turkish carrot cake. I just gotta. I have so many open snacks. This is terrible. It's a little dry, but considering it's prepackaged, it's not bad. This is like a good middle of the road carrot cake. Oh, who knew? I've liked everything so far. Well, the crackers were a little disappointing. I lie. Okay. We got some little goldfish crackers. These ones are I don't know if they're cheese flavored or not. I should just keep moving on. All the ingredients are definitely not in English, so. But we got crackers. I am not going to open up everything. Ooh, we have Dido Gold. Sutricelli Tondana. I don't know what all of that means. It doesn't expire until September. I guess I didn't have to open up this box quite so soon. Gosh, that looks fascinating too, but I'm gonna move along. We got some gummy worms, like gummy worms. And these are good until January 2025. I don't know why. I'm loving these big old expiration sticker thingies. It's very satisfying to me to know how long that lasts. And then we have some pralines. They don't call them that. They call them wafers filled with cocoa and hazelnut cream. It's a super roll. I can imagine what that tastes like, so we'll move on from that. And then Tadele, maxi nut. I'm not making this up. It says maxi nut. And this is another hazelnut type situation. Looks like a wafer cookie. And I am a sucker for wafer cookies, so let's try this one out. Oh yeah. I really like that. So it has real hazelnut in it, which I love hazelnut, but I hate hazelnut flavoring. It has real hazelnut. The wafer is very delicate and fine. The chocolate is chocolatey, but it's not like coyingly sweet. You can tell this wasn't made in America because the chocolate is also not waxy at all. It has a bit of a softness to it. Not that hard snap that, like a Hershey's bar would have. That's delicious. And then we have Kit Kat Tat, which from the name you would think would be what I just ate, a wafer cookie. But this is not a Kit Kat. But it does have a hazelnut flavoring in it as well. That's like 3, at least 2 snacks with hazelnut, which is like my favorite nut. So heck yeah. This was a very pleasant little box. My sister-in-law said she got it off of Amazon, and they weren't super duper expensive. A lot of mystery boxes that you buy online tend to be way more expensive than the value of the product, but I don't know how much she spent on this, but I imagine, knowing how much she was supposed to spend, we tried to set a limit on our Christmas spending this year. This had to have been a really good value, honestly, for the amount of enjoyment. And yeah, I still have a whole nother box of treats, but I'm going to save that because, yeah, there was a lot in that other box. So next time I have a short haul, which maybe is next month, I don't know yet, we'll open that guy up. And with that, we are at the end of the video, or at least what I'm going to declare to be the end of the video, considering I had intended to open up that other box, but we're going to save it. But anyways, the end of the video, for those of you who've been around, know that it is shout out time. And I do see a lot of familiar faces, but I'm going to shout out to them anyways. So this is just commenters on my previous video or two. So thank you to Traby Maybe, Max, Allison Hamblin, Dulce Crystal, Sarah Biz, and Allison Hamblin. I think that one was twice. Yes. Oh, she's quite the active commenter. So thank you guys for commenting, keeping me on track, and for watching, of course, or listening, or maybe just falling asleep. Either way, thank you and have a wonderful night. Nighty night.